Welcome back to AM Northwest. If you struggle to keep your work life at work, our next guest wants to help balance things out. We welcome back the author of All the Things I Wish I Knew, Master Life Coach, Sarah Centrella. Great to see you again.
So good to see you, Helen.
This is kind of a tricky spot for a lot of people who really love their work but realize they're just doing it all the time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people these days, especially if you work from home or if you work hybrid at all, you find that your work life just runs together and it's really hard to kind of have some boundaries around it.
Especially if you've got a family.
And again, especially if you're working from home, then your laptop or your computer is always out, and it's really tempting to go after dinner and go in and do some more work. And so, you know, I found if you have a couple just simple tips that you can start to apply into your life and put into practice, that you can really kind of get your life back.
Because it's about setting boundaries, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
And I think like there's simple ways to do it. Number one, back when I worked in corporate, I know this seems hard to do, but when I worked in corporate and I had little kids, I would tell my bosses, I would say, hey, you know, between the hours of say 6 and 9, I'm going to be offline. You know, I won't have access to my phone or any of that because I'm going to be with my kids. I'm going to be present with my kids at that time. But then after that, maybe I'll check email before I go to bed to make sure nothing, you know, has happened and there's no fires burning or things like that. So I think there are ways that you can definitely kind of communicate that, even if your work has a very go-go all the time culture, around the clock culture. Because if you can put a little bit of boundaries in, it's amazing how much your outside life can then recharge you and refuel you, so that you can be more productive at work.
I would think too that your supervisors would think, well, okay, respect the boundary. I think that's a way to respect yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. When you can kind of self-advocate, then people understand, okay, that's important to you. You know, nothing is going to happen in those 3 hours that we can't you know, overcome before you go to bed.
Absolutely. You say to create, this is interesting, create a transition space between work and home.
Yes, and this was really important. So I've been working from home for almost 14 years. Part of that was at corporate, and then part of it as an entrepreneur. And for me, it was really important whether I had a home office that was a place where I could close the doors at 5 o'clock. That was ideal, but many times I didn't. I just had like a laptop at the kitchen counter like a lot of people do. So my whole thing is like close down your workspace, like close a computer, even cover it up if it's in the main living room, just so that you can really mentally transition into off time. So I would do you know, simple things like change my clothes, get out of my work clothes into, you know, comfy clothes like immediately at 5 o'clock or whatever. I would put on some music in the house if I'm working from home. So there are definitely kind of little tips that you can do to transition.
The fact that you change into regular clothes while you're at home and working says a lot about you.
I mean, you know, I believe in getting dressed for work even if you have to work at home.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I interrupted you there. And then you say schedule activities that bring you a lot of joy.
Yes, so this is probably the most important aspect, and it's the piece that most people don't do. Having hobbies, having things that you really enjoy doing is so important to your mental health. Like, I think we just don't put enough value on it, honestly, because everyone thinks I'm too busy to do things that are fun. But let me tell you, if you can just go back and ask yourself, like, you know, what did I enjoy doing when I was a kid or when I was growing up that made me laugh, that I had a good time doing? For instance, I've been back ice skating. I hadn't ice skated since I was like 16 years old, you know. But that's something you can do for an hour once a week. You know, you have the time. So I think if you learn how to bring joy into your life, start doing something, and it should be something you actually do, because that helps. It's almost a meditative quality because you have to focus, and then it helps you like clear your mind of everything else.
That makes a lot of sense. Use daily tools to manage your stress.
Yeah, so a big one is meditation. I think meditation is so key, whether you are a person who thinks you can or can't meditate. Anyone can listen to, you know, a guided meditation on YouTube or something for 5 or 10 minutes a day. And just that alone helps your nervous system to calm down. It helps reduce stress and anxiety. And it helps you just clear your mind, which is super important for that balance.
Be present outside of work.
Yeah, this is a big one. That's a big one. I keep my notifications off on my phone when I'm not at work. So completely off. I don't want to be distracted. I want to be in the moment, whether it's with my kids or, you know, family, whatever. I want to really give them the full attention. So that's a small thing anyone can do.
Yeah, and you mentioned practicing meditation or mind relaxation, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Read, do other things that help clear your mind out. Even listen to music. Have a playlist that helps kind of transport you and make you feel good, help you kind of shake off the stress of work.
Yeah. And then move your body.
Yes, just move your body. It sounds simple. But you know, even if you don't have a crazy workout routine every single day, you can get up and, you know, go for a 15-minute walk around the block. But the ability to clear your mind again and to just get the oxygen, just all of those things really are just teaching you how to bring balance into your life.
Right.
Because otherwise, work just takes up this, you know, humongous percentage of most people's lives.
And I think, too, when you think back about the fun things that you did that were fun as a kid, and you mentioned ice skating, you're doing that again, because that's what we loved.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. And it will bring you joy as an adult. You'd be surprised at how, you know, gardening is another one I've picked up, cooking is another one I've picked up. So there are things you like to do. Just spend time doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, we'll be right. Again, the book is titled All the Things I Wish I Knew. We'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.